Hey, what's going on, DDO players? Axel here. Welcome back to my DDO free-to-play guide and challenge series. If you haven't seen these videos before, this is a series where I'm playing through the game, only using what I find, no auction house, no store, no guild buffs, nothing like that, just using what I find. Now, even though I said no auction house, I'm not using it because I want to do a little bit of a challenge with this series, but if you're watching this as a free-to-play player, you absolutely should be using the auction house, which is why I'm here in the marketplace. There's an auctioneer here. There's one in the harbor. There's one in most areas, public areas in the game. So I know I went over this in a previous episode, but I just want to remind you guys that just because I'm not using it doesn't mean you shouldn't. There's all kinds of stuff here, from armor if you need a specific, armor, helmets, gloves, any piece of gear you need. A lot of random generated loot, which would be good for you as a new player, is on here. In addition to collectibles and all kinds of augments, and there's a lot of stuff to find. You can sort by level range, so definitely utilize the auction house as a free-to-play player. I'm just not doing it because I'm doing this as a challenge, but it's one thing I wanted to remind you of. The other thing I wanted to go over in this episode before we get to some quests, we're going to go to House Jurassico, is I want to talk a little bit about post-processing effects, and I just wanted to bring this up because this is really popular with a lot of players that I know. So if you go to advanced graphics and type in like video post effects, so you can, this is on by default, but if you want, you can turn it off. And when you turn it off, what it does, as the description tells you here, is it'll turn off a lot of the blur and motion and bloom that's in the game. So it'll give it a more duller appearance to the game. So you might want to try with turning this on, turning this off, see which one you prefer. But a lot of players prefer this off, particularly for a few sections in the game. These are places, most notably in expansions, which you won't have as a free-to-play player. Places like Wayloon or places like Stormhorns, What Goes Up, where players really like the bloom off because there's some bright effects. But anyways, I just thought I'd note that before we kind of venture on to our quest for today. I guess a few other things. I mean, here's just an enhancement update. I have been playing some of the quests I'm going to cover in this episode and in future episodes. I have been running through on normal just to unlock higher difficulty, so you can see me getting some more XP. I've topped off some of my potions and things, taking a few enhancement points. Mostly I'm putting my points right now into this strong defense enhancement just because I want to get more strength. In terms of gear, not really much upgrades. I did put this armor on, which gives me magical sheltering +9, so I lose a little bit of fortification from my previous armor I was wearing, but I really wanted the +9 MRR, which MRR makes it so you take less damage from magical attacks. So we're going to go to House Jurassico. First time in House Jurassico. You can get there right here on the map, but I'm just going to take the teleporter, which kind of, if you go through here, it takes you to more of the southeastern parts, whereas this teleport will take you more to the central part. And that's where I want to go, because there are 3 quests we're going to run through in this episode on House J. By the way, last episode, actually no, 2 episodes ago, when we talked about bags, you can actually buy bags from one of the shops here. In addition to those collectible bags, ingredients bags, gems bags, the medium ones, you can actually buy them from one of the shops in this house as well. If you in addition to the one House P, they're the same bag, so it doesn't matter, but it's just another place where you can buy them. So we're going to go in the Drowning Sorrows Tavern first, and we're going to go over here. Where is she? Mirra Panthakar. So we're going to run this on, I actually ran this one twice already, once on normal, once on hard, so I actually have Elite unlocked, and I did not turn in, nothing really here I want, so I'll just take this. So nothing so I actually can run this on Elite, but no, there's nothing on the list there that I particularly want. But this is the first, these quests. This one is right outside. Two of the quests that we're going to run today are really short, and then one is a little bit longer. So this one, should I try Reeton? I'll just go Elite. I might try some quests on Reaper later, but I think this one I'll just stick for Elite. So get my hirelings. So very short quest. There is a big trap here in the center, which you need to know, either have trapping skills, evasion, or approach the trap in a certain way. So there's a lever back here. Go ahead and, since we're on elite here, I guess I better actually be careful and buff a little bit. Let's go ahead and I think we're good. I did go ahead and buy some more. I'm getting low here on my Wisdom, Owl's Bull Strength, and Eagle Splendor wands. So I did go ahead and top those off right before I started recording. So we got several level 6s to go here. There's quite a lot of level 6 free-to-play quests, which is good, because they're definitely, as I mentioned last episode or an episode or two ago, there's not very many level 5s. So I'm still level 7 at the moment, so I'm not level 8 yet. You know, as I talked about in previous episodes, you ideally want to be 2 levels over when you run quests, just because at 2 levels over you can still get your delving bonus and also be at the kind of the strongest you can be. Obviously level 6 quests are easier if you're at level 8 versus level 7. So in this quest there's some optionals which we're not going to do, but basically this quest, you need to run on this path to find the source of the scratching noises. I would actually recommend you read the storyline for this quest. This quest has a pretty interesting storyline. And I think this quest also is referenced in the DDO novel, The Shard Axe, if I remember correctly. But yeah, read this one. This one's worth reading. And here, there is a big trap in the middle. So to finish the quest, we want to go this way. So just make sure you don't run in the center there, because the traps will kill you. They do a lot of damage. And my hireling might be doing that right now, because he almost died. So there we go. That's it. You don't actually have to do anything else other than go down this northeast path and this western path. Everything else is optional. And I don't think the optionals are really worth doing. I did actually explore them before this episode, just because it's been such quite a long time since I've done this quest. So I don't think they're worth it. Let's go ahead and recall. So very short quest. So we'll go ahead and hit up, I think, the longer one next, since it's on our way. So we're going to kind of wrap around. There's another quest in the tavern, and then there's another quest, Redwillow's Ruins, which is much longer than the other two. It's not super, super long, but it is, it's longer. As I mentioned in a previous episode, we're going to get starting to the point where we're going to see some, especially next level, we're going to start to see some longer quest. Okay, let's see. Combat Mastery. Is there anything I want? Vitality is nice because it's stack. It's a separate, different type of bonus to say what you would get from False Life, so it will stack. Let's see. I think I'll still stick with what I got. It's Fortification of Move Silently. Death Block of Balance. Ooh, we got a great sword. Is it any better than the one we have? Let's see. 2d6 plus 3. It's plus 1 more damage, as opposed to 2d6 plus 2, but it does not really have, it does have Seeker on it. You know, these are pretty equivalent, to be honest. I'll go ahead and take it. Seeker is an effect that you'll want as you get higher in level. I mean, Seeker, what it does is it makes your critical hits do more damage. Assassinate isn't really going to affect us unless we take rogue levels or we use the falconry enhancement tree. I guess I'll use it for now. I mean, it does have a little better base damage, so it might be a little bit better. I'm not sure exactly. They're pretty equivalent, both of these swords. It's like, do you want the fiery effect, which gives you an extra little bit of damage, or do you want which gives you 1d6 fire damage in addition to your base attack, or do you want to get the one with the better base attack? And base attack is nice because it that stuff gets multiplied with crits and such. So we'll go ahead and use that one. Why not? Then we get the Seeker bonus as well for bigger crits. So we're going to have bigger crits if we use this greatsword, essentially. All right, so let's go to Redwillow's Ruins. So this quest is all about finding certain items for some NPCs at the beginning. And there's actually a fight in this one at the end, which is a little more challenging than some of these other fights in these free-to-play quests. Particularly, it's more challenging than other end fights. So let's go on. And I have only done this one on normal, so we'll be running it on hard since Elite is locked.
Patrolling monsters have trampled paths in twisting patterns through the lush jungle.
So because I've been kind of depending on this hireling, I could have built my character to be a little more self-sufficient if I wanted. Like I haven't taken any extra lay on hands, for example, which would be nice for self-healing. But honestly, at this level, if you're soloing, you may as well just use a hireling and put your points into DPS instead, which is essentially what I've done. I still have some in Sacred Defender for basic survivability, but I haven't felt a big need to invest a lot in self-healing just because it's just easy to just have a hireling right now at this level. All right, so we got to talk to, where is he? Falconer here, and then we got to find items, separate items each for these NPCs. So one thing before you do this quest is you want to make sure you have some open inventory space, because you do have to hold these physical items and bring it back to them, and you need quite a few slots. So we've got research notes, sealed container, personal effects, necklace, so on and so forth. So let's see, get my expeditious retreat here. I almost want to go farming. I've thought about going and farming a third one, just because it would make it. 2 is, I mean, having 4 charges is enough generally, but for some of these longer quests we might get to here soon, it's may not be. So this guy is a champion. He's doing quite a bit of damage, as you can see. So thank you, hireling. So there's Jada's necklace, the first of the items we need to find. So this greatsword we got was only our, I think, a third greatsword I found in this playthrough. So there's a bunch of caverns here in this quest, but we don't need to go through any. They're all optional, and to be honest, they're not really worth doing. You can do them if you want. It's a lot of it is go in there, avoid some traps, kill a certain number of enemies. There's a few like that, but I'm gonna ignore them since it's just not really worth doing the optional. And I actually did not buff. I need to do that after this encounter. Let's do that. Particularly this, so some of these, there's a comment about the use of wands before. So these don't stack with, say like my helmet has +3 wisdom on it. So this wand gives me +4, so that doesn't stack. So I'm only getting a +4 still. So I don't really, like, it's not that important that I use the wisdom one. It does give me an extra rank of wisdom. Let's see. I don't know if I have to go up here. I don't think so. Okay. It does give me an extra rank of wisdom, which gives me basically +1 will save and a little bit of max spell points, but it's not like, doesn't really matter because I'm not going to, your mana is not going to fill up for the max spell points. I don't need that many spell points. +1 will save is nice, but it's not super essential. The one I'm really want to make sure I do is strength, because it gives me +1. It gives me an additional rank of strength, which gives me +1 hit and damage, which means my stunning blows are more likely to hit, and it just gives me more damage in general. So even on hard, this quest can be a little bit tougher, just because you do encounter a lot of these melee mobs at once, and they can hit pretty hard. So if you're playing like a caster, fortunately, you know, I'm on Sacred, I'm playing a paladin, and I'm in Sacred Defender, so I've got, you know, a decent amount of PRR and MRR right now. So I'm able to take some hits, and I just have a lot of, so here's the next item we need. I just have a lot of hit points as well in general. So let's see. We got notes. Okay, so now we need to get notes and a sealed container. So generally in this quest, you can just kind of work your way around in a clockwise fashion, I found, and find everything you need. If you're using effects, by the way, that rely on a fort save, like Stunning Blow, you'll find that all the enemies in game, they have a class just like you do. And they have the same weaknesses that classes have that players play, right? So if they're casters, you know, they probably have a lower fortitude save, for example, just because they're, you know, they're focused on casting stats, not they're not particularly hardy. So just one thing to keep in mind. So if you have an ability like Stunning Blow, you might want to target casters with it, just because they're more likely to have a lower fort save. My DC right now, you can see me failing a lot. It's not particularly impressive. Probably one of the next things I'll take is my trance, which will help with that. And I would love to find, you know, some additional strength items, and maybe an insightful strength item would be amazing to help with that. That's one of the things that's kind of rough on a first life character like this. I don't have tomes, I don't have any good gear, so it's harder if you're playing for DC based abilities. It can be harder to find, you know, to actually get your abilities to hit. Let's see, we've got a chest up here. Worded container. Here we go. Alright, so we got everything. That was the last of the items we need. Constitution 3 belts of life sealed. That's interesting. So I think we already have a con +4 item. Yeah, we do. So we don't need that. We also have a false life. Let's see. Life sealed is nice because it gives you... So life sealed is negative energy absorption. It works the same way as, say, like acid or fire would. It just works against negative energy instead of those elements. But life steal is interesting because it gives you that negative absorption in addition to the death block effect. So it's kind of like an all-in-one effect. That's actually a pretty decent belt for us. Don't know if I'll use it, but maybe I might put it on for some quests that spam have mobs that spam negative energy, and there's a lot of mobs in this game that cast negative energy. So we could go south here and go to some other places, but that's all optional. So we are just going to do the main quest here. If you have access to the DDO spell, this would be a good example of a time to use it. So the DDO spell is one of the most handy arcane spells in DDO. Let me drink a poison pot here. What it does is it teleports you back to the beginning of the dungeon, which is just, there's so many different places in DDO where that's helpful. It just saves you time. It's just a convenient spell. There are places in the game, though, that restrict that. There are some quests that just don't let you use Dimension Door. Alright, so let's go back over to the NPCs, which I believe, were they up here? Am I running the wrong way? They are, let's see, I thought they were up here. No, they're back here. Okay, yeah, gotta go south more. Let's see, where are you guys?
As you approach the bamboo, a dark figure sprints out, startling a nest of scorpions in the process.
Oh, there they are. Did I run past? I just ran past them. Okay, well. Anyways, I was like, am I going crazy? I just saw you guys. All right, so now we got to talk to all of them. Then we're going to have an infight here with a bunch of giants.
You have returned the items to
Okay,
their
make sure you got to talk to some of these quite a bit.
of your success.
Okay, so now we got to talk to the main guy here, Falcor. He's going to summon this portal. So I'm going to make sure I buff this. These, I might actually use my stone skin. Oh, I did not actually mean to run in yet. Might be okay. Let me go ahead and buff. I'm going to probably actually use my stone skin potion here, because this is a little bit of a rougher fight. Kill these guys first. Yeah, here we go. I'm going to drink my stone skin potion, which I've been saving for a little while. So stone skin will let me tank a little bit of damage. So you can see it up here. Stone skin, you get DR10 adamantine until it's absorbed a certain amount of damage. So we have 176 left. So every hit I take will be 10 less damage until the amount of damage I've reduced has surpassed 176. That's what I have left. But that's just a random potion I found in the chest. Let's see, we've got... You actually don't have to kill all the giants. It's an optional, but you only have to kill the leader here. Remnants, make sure if you see those gold pucks on the ground, you definitely want to pick those up. They are very useful.
Well fortified and guarded, you have found your way to the giant leader's stronghold.
So we got the boss and a champion. They all saw me. I was going to maybe try and... Fortunately, we stunned the champ. Good. Not me taking all that damage, and I got held, which is bad. So I rolled a 1 on that. So you can see on the bottom right side. Roll a 1, and you always fail. Unless you have a certain feat that allows you to not fail on 1s. There are some feats that do that. Alright, so we got the optional, and once we kill this guy, we're going to have the quest completed. Cool. Alright, so you don't want to forget to get your chest up here. Alright, let's move on. One last quest, which is Ruined Halls, which is a very short one. But we do have to run over to the other tavern to get it. So I'm getting very close. So I should be level 8 by next episode. We got another great sword. We got Double Strike, Fiery of Double Strike. Also 2d6 plus 3, so it's the same base damage. But plus 3% Double Strike's good. That means 3% of the time. I mean, Double Strike is one of the best traits for a melee character, but Double Strike, 3% is not very much, but it's better than nothing. But basically 3% of the time now, instead of when I swing, it'll count twice instead of once. And we get Fiery, so I'm definitely going to use this great sword. I'm definitely going to take that. I'm not even going to look at the other items. Yeah, that will be our new great sword for sure. But it's nice. So we've gotten several great swords this episode, which is like, I've gotten more great swords. I've got as many great swords this episode as I've gotten the entire rest of this playthrough. But that just goes to show you how punishing RNG can be. It's just bad luck on my end, you know. 2d6 plus 3. And you should be comparing great swords without it equipped. Because once you equip an item, it will show any effects, certain effects that you have, certain abilities or toggles or whatever. It'll apply that to the weapon description. So if you're comparing a weapon that's equipped. Although I don't think we have any at this level. But if you're comparing an item that's equipped versus item that's not equipped, you really don't want to do that. But I'm pretty sure we don't have any abilities right now that affect that. But we might later. Yeah, let me look again. Yeah, we don't. All right, so here's our last quest. I think, is this the right one? Dead Predators. I'm sorry, did I say Ruined Halls? I think I meant to say Dead Predators. What's our last one? Yeah, Dead Predators. I'm sorry. Why was I thinking Ruined Halls? I think that's a quest in House Kundarak. I think that will be. I think did we run that? I can't remember if that's one of the ones we were in previous episode, but if it's not, we're gonna be running it pretty soon. Although I think Ruined Halls was the level 5. I think we already ran that in previous episode. Anyways, I'll stop blabbering. So I guess while I'm here, I can show you Fred. So Fred is a mind flayer who's at this section of Alstrasco, and Fred's unique. He has a unique ability for NPCs. What you can do is you can trade a feat. So if you want to trade a feat that you've took when you leveled up with another one, that's where when you go to Fred. So to do this, you need a certain amount of platinum and an ingredient. However, you can go to the quest Hall of the Mark, which maybe I'll show you that in a future episode. There's a level 1 quest called Hall of the Mark. It doesn't give XP as far as I'm aware, but it does give you a free feat swap token. So once you do that quest Hall of the Mark, you can for free swap 1 feat. You can also pay Astral Shards. That's real money, currency. Anyways, this is where you go if you want to swap feats. Now, if you want to, that's just one at a time. If you want to change all your feats, then you'll want to do a lesser reincarnation. Okay, Dead Predators. Another one I only did on normal. I should probably pop in here and do this on Elite, though. It's such a short, easy quest. So you can see there, my Wisdom Wand ran out, but I had another one ready, so it popped it. That's one nice thing. When you run out of, like, let's say you have 2 different stacks of curse pots or something. Once you use the last in your first stack, it will automatically update if you have a second stack in your inventory, it will automatically put it on your hotbar, which is very nice. Okay, some mobs are going to pop out. We're going to kill them, and then we're going to wait for this wall to pop. Once we kill these enemies, we're going to be able to advance. I love breaking these sarcophagi. It's just it's very satisfying sound. So you do have to wait a little bit for this quest, but this will open here in a minute. You have to wait for all the enemies to spawn. That you have to kill. It is required.
In this mirror, you watch in horror as the flesh rots.
There we go.
Your face.
As far as I know, it's required. I could be wrong there. It might only be required for you to look at the mirror. So apologies. Maybe someone in the comments can tell me. We're going to pull this.
Chains rattle and clank as a heavy stone barrier grinds open.
I guess I may as well. I haven't really been going for
Forgiven evil.
the breakable bonus. As I mentioned in previous episodes, if you break a certain number of things, you get the ransack or lesser bonuses, but ransack's the best version of the bonus you can get. But some quests like this, I guess it's not very inconvenient to hit the breakables, and it's such a small quest. You may as well do it. It doesn't really cost you much time. And they just put a random chest here just to be nice. Not even a mini boss to defeat.
All around you, dry bones rattle and shiver in the dust. Ahead, more victims
So one other thing that's notable, there's a lot of times in the game you'll see archers like this. You actually don't have to kill them unless you just want to kill them for the bonus, the kill bonus to XP. But any kind of static enemy that doesn't move, like these archers, they don't actually add to dungeon alert. So you can run past them if you want to. So that's why a lot of times if you see me running past an archer, it might be because they're a static enemy. See, this quest is over already. Did we even get the... We didn't even get the breakable bonus. You do have to break the breakables before the quest completes to get the bonus. If the quest completes, you can't then go break them and get the bonus. So I must have missed a few back there. Oh well. Ooh, look at this. We got our second ever augment. Unfortunately, it's not one we want on this build. I saw a red augment. I was hoping it would be a damage augment, but yeah, this is a red augment. This typically only goes in weapons, so this is one to upgrade force spell power. So this might be good for like a like a wizard or sorcerer or cleric who's gonna cast force spells. So like arcanes have force missiles. Clerics have things like blade barrier, so that can benefit from that spell power. So yeah, guys, I think that's going to be it for this quest. This is going to be it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed. And I guess what else to say? Oh, if you don't know already, I have links below in the description which have links to all my other stuff. So if you want to like join my Discord or check out my social media or check out my music or other videos from me, you can check all that below in the description in my link tree. But all right, guys, hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Take care.